Hi there, what's happening? Welcome. It's SportsCenter from the nation's capital. I am Scott Van Pelt. We will have full reaction from Thursday Night Football. Damian Woody in the building. We'll visit with one of the stars of the game. As entertaining a football game as we've seen all season, who saw that coming? Not me. We'll also have full highlights and reaction as well as the Dodgers and Blue Jays are victorious in respective Game 4s. We also have the most unhinged winners I have ever done. And also, hey, Rutgers, you up? I said it. As for the Thursday Night Football game, famous last words in our meeting. We won't need much room for this on the show. What a game in the Unk Bowl. Couple of old-timers absolutely spinning it. Aaron Rodgers looking deep on 3rd and 11 for DK Metcalf, pick up a 39. The money down, right? 3rd down, Rodgers rolls left, nothing. Rolls right, directing traffic. Finally going to plant his foot and fire. It was a huge night for tight ends. Jonnu Smith, touchdown, 7-0 Pittsburgh. It's 10-0, the Bengals trail. The jungle's fairly quiet, and then the beast awakens. Where have you been all season? Chase Brown, it's been a rough start to the year. That's a gain of 27. He had his best game of the year. And then after Jamar Chase scored, but the touchdown was taken off by a penalty. Right at Ramsey again. This one counts. Joe Burrow applauding from the sidelines. It's 10-7. Next Steelers drive. Rodgers winds up, takes a deep shot, but that is picked. That's Jordan Battle jumping in front of that one. Double coverage. Rodgers, son of a gun. Ensuing drive. Joe Flacco. T. Higgins in space. And a burst of speed to the end zone. And on a whiteout night in Cincinnati, the jungle's alive. It's 14-10. Next Steelers drive. This looks like a patented dart from Rodgers to Metcalf. But as you'll see, a tremendous play is made on the ball. DJ Turner wrestles it away, and then right there, the knee is in bounds. An incredible turnover. So instead of Pittsburgh getting points, it's the Bengals that get a field goal before halftime. It's now a 20-10 Bengal lead. And what a toss on 3rd and 18. Rodgers to Pat Freiermuth. And it's back to a 3-point game. Another 3rd down touchdown throw to a tight end. Now it's a 3rd down throw for Flacco. Andre Josivach. What a gorgeous throw from Flacco. 37-yarder. Later in the drive, it's now 4th quarter. Again, it's 3rd down. Again, it's a tight end. Noah Fant all alone in the end zone. Bengals back in front by 10. Next Steelers drive. And Jaylen Warren gets the toss right. And this Cincinnati defense, sometimes the tackling's not great. It wasn't there. Warren running hard, a gain of 37. Later in the drive, guess what? It's another touchdown pass, and it's a tight end. The enormous Darnell Washington in the end zone. 6-7. Yeah, I get it. I don't know what it means, but that's what that is. It's Neptunes in this game. Then it's Flacco looking deep. It's T. Higgins. Brilliant play. Slides down, understanding. That's just high-level football IQ. The understanding that scoring a touchdown might help your fantasy team, and it's cool for me, but it doesn't help us win. Got to bleed the clock down for this. Evan McPherson, snap, hold, clean operation. Bengals lead by 2. But there's been no better thrower of Hail Mary balls in the history of the league than this man, Aaron Rodgers. You know the drill. Roll the pocket and let it unload. This is 70 yards in the air. Knock it down. Shout to TJ. They do. Cincinnati knocks it down. And Rodgers and Flacco. Unk Bowl. How about 2 elite throwers of the football under the bright lights, putting on an absolute show. Woo, what a football game. And for the 3rd consecutive Thursday, this is my kind of graphic. The underdog has come away with a victory. Niners with Mac Jones remarkably went into LA and beat the Rams. Last week it was Cam Scattaboo and his quarterback Dart lifting the Gents over the Eagles. And tonight, Joe Flacco, who I'm just told, ladies and gentlemen, will join the program, which means at least once we'll, for old school, we'll give it a little bit of extra punch on the Joe Flacco. Damian Woody's here. Let's just start with this, man.
We were having so much fun watching this.
I was just going to tell the audience, watching football with this man every Thursday, it's always a blast. But man, we were laughing and cutting up and having a ball just watching these guys play the game. And we were also laughing about all the youngsters out there. If you're still in the cuz or bro lane, that exit off the highway, it sneaks up fast. It sneaks up on you. So just I would save the jokes, especially when you see guys play at this level. Let's just start with that before we dig into the nuts and bolts of the game. In Rodgers, Hall of Fame, no doubt. And in Flacco, what are we looking at just in terms of sheer ability to throw the football?
Yeah, listen, I think when we were watching the game, you were talking about he's like a shooter, like an all-time great shooter. They don't forget how to shoot the ball.
Right.
This man does not forget how to throw the rock. Like, we can say whatever you want about Joe Flacco. He's a statue in the pocket and all that. But the one thing Joe Flacco is going to do, he's going to throw the ball. And now with the Cincinnati Bengals, he's going to get the ball to Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. Okay? When you have elite weapons like that, you're going to be in every single game. And the running game came alive for the Cincinnati Bengals. That was a hell of a performance for a guy who's basically been there a week.
Well, and if you go back to the second half of their game at Green Bay, Cincinnati went on this monstrous, like 18-play, 10-minute drive to get back in that game, but Green Bay had too much and they hold them off. Now on a short week, for, as you say, a guy who's been here basically like 10 minutes, to have this kind of a performance against this vaunted Pittsburgh Steelers defense, is this the type of thing, and you try not to be prisoners of the moment and all of that, but is this the kind of thing for this Bengal team that gets its third victory now with Flacco and this upcoming schedule ahead of the bye, Jets and Bears? Does this open your eyes to, now wait a minute, maybe there's a path for this Bengal team? Because I'll admit I was done. I thought they were finished. This changes my opinion. What about you?
Well, isn't that the perception of the league right now? Everyone is kind of jumbled and muddled together. And we know that Pittsburgh obviously has had a lot of success early. But when you get a big win against the top dog in your division right now, and then you take a little sneak peek at the schedule, you're starting to think, man, if we can come away and win these next two games and go into the bye
at 5-4,
like we're exactly where we want to be. So this was a huge win by the Cincinnati Bengals.
You know what I loved, and we talked about this as we watched it. I think that these coaches and coordinators spend so much time drawing up ball plays and scheme and this and that. You know what Flacco's smart enough to do? Say, where's one? And he had over 20 targets tonight. I mean, sometimes you don't have to be more clever than just giving your best player the chance to catch the football.
It's not plays, it's players. Like, you see that mutant out there that wears number one?
Yeah.
Throw him the damn ball and just let him go to work. And you're right, Scott. A lot of times these coaches, they really start to outthink themselves instead of getting the ball to your best player. And that's why Joe Flacco was brought in, was traded to the Cincinnati Bengals, because you have two elite wide receivers on the outside, and they didn't have a quarterback to get them the ball. Joe Flacco can do that.
And I gave as much credit as I could on the highlight. I want to say it again to T. Higgins, just understanding situational IQ. If I go down here, we can bleed the clock and essentially leave Rodgers without much time. Ball was still in the air with a chance for Pittsburgh. It gets knocked down. For the Steelers that came into this 4-1 with a really comfortable cushion, how much of a hole does this pop in the balloon of them from where they were before this night started to where things sit now in the North?
Well, I mean, listen, you're playing against a division rival. And actually, it goes back to Mike Tomlin, when he was talking about why in the world would the Cleveland Browns trade Joe Flacco within the division. And here we are. Joe Flacco comes back to bite them in the butt with a huge divisional win.
And this is one last thing. This is a team that's off this week, but I asked you. I said, I haven't quit on Baltimore. I said here the other night.
Steelers Nation, we've got heavy news tonight, but make no mistake, this is a moment for belief, grit, and heart. The Pittsburgh Steelers have officially placed Miles Killebrew, their special teams captain and core leader, on injured reserve after a non-contact knee injury that Coach Mike Tomlin called significant. Killebrew has been a constant force on special teams over his tenure, a four-time captain and a reliable warrior in every phase. Over 5 appearances this season, he recorded 5 tackles, modest numbers, but impact beyond the stat sheet. His loss will sting, but Steelers don't fold under pressure. They rise. This injury comes as a heavy blow, especially given the timing. Pittsburgh enters Thursday Night Football against the Bengals, missing a special teams linchpin. But the Bengals don't come fresh. Defensive end Trey Hendrickson, who's been a terror off the edge, is likely out with a hip injury. That softens the threat they pose to Aaron Rodgers and our offense. Meanwhile, on the Steelers side, safety Deshaun Elliott, once questionable, is expected to play. And the Steelers are already making moves. They hosted veteran George Odom for a visit, a known special teams standout who could help plug the gap left by Killebrew. Mike Tomlin acknowledged that this is the one injury worth mentioning as they head into a short week. But he also reminded us that in Pittsburgh's locker room, one man's misfortune is another man's opportunity. That's the Steelers' way. That's what separates this team. Cam Hayward even criticized the field conditions at Acrisure Stadium, saying they may have played a role in this injury. But we don't dwell on what-ifs. We act, we adapt, we overcome. So here's where we stand. We've lost a leader, yes, but we still have the backbone of this roster intact. Rodgers leading the offense, TJ Watt disrupting on defense, the guys in the locker room ready to rally. We have to believe in the next man stepping up on special teams, on defense, in that Pittsburgh mold of resilience. Steelers Nation, I want to hear from you. How do you feel about losing Killebrew? Who do you trust to step in and fill that void on special teams? Drop your thoughts in the comments, smash that like button if you believe in this team, and if you haven't already, subscribe. Ride with us through it all. Let's go, Steelers.